Hopefully Jordan doesn't pass out. Hopefully Colt does some crazy shit. Let's see. Let's switch it. So, the last time in our Tales of Foundation, our heroes within the bowels of the infernal plane had begun to realize the horror and the blatant evil nature that resided here on this plane. Within the Limb and Flesh Bazaar, the towering monolith of the Rip and Tear was controlled by a devilish prince known as Malrath, the Grand Appraiser. Our party had stumbled. Did this dude's internet die?
What bad fucking time. This is.
What are the odds?
Why, God? What is going on today?
I feel like this is my fault.
I don't think it's your fault at all.
Dude,
I don't think it's your fault.
Colt's
Dude, the
internet
fucking
is
universe is
fucking
telling
up.
us we shouldn't play today. Colt's pissed. Jordan was like almost running a marathon. Isaac's internet died. I mean, the Eagles won, so let's go Birds.
Praise be. Bless up.
Isaac was just really pissed about Jordan being like.
No, sorry,
know.
Discord just crashed on me. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll buy everyone a pizza. We all
I'm
have to
just
share
gonna
one.
continue, all right? I'm just gonna
Yeah.
keep going. We're gonna barrel
Roll.
through this session. Let me say this too. This might be the best game we have yet. So I'm gonna lay that out. The standards are high. As our heroes met the devil of deals, Malrath the Grand Appraiser. One by one, deals and offers were made to each of our characters, with the only person taking out a deal being Redalus. The killing and the taking out of the demonic prince, Koshtiktikai, the demon prince of wrath, who had been apparently harassing the devil forces here. While an ongoing war outside the walls of the bazaar went on, insults were thrown and offers were made at the top of the Rip and Tear monolith. At the very end, the only one coming out with a contract being Redalus, our party decided to rest, to figure out what they were going to do. And as they got hung up on the details of like, why is this devil not helping us? This is stupid. This new devil should help us. During your sleep, you decided that you would need a little bit more help in even finding Koshtiktikai and dealing with him. You descended down the steps, talked to one of his basically secretaries, and bribed him to give you a better deal to get in for another meeting with Malrath, which would then allow you guys to help yourselves find Koshtiktikai. Ascending back to the room, Malrath basically taunted you all and said, if you want to make another deal, let's do it. And then everybody's like, no, well, you should help us instead. And he was like, no, we're not going to do that. And then we talked in circles for a while until Marco blatantly said he would make a deal, disappeared in about a fire, and then moments later returned back. And with only a few seconds to dissect what had even happened, in a flash, you all were covered in devilish flames and teleported across the plane, arriving out in a volcanic and porous environment, sulfur fumes jetting out of the crack and rugged rock beneath your feet. You all were able to see in the far distance a wall almost comprised of crystalline flesh and an enormous crack in it with beads and tendrils of energy wisping out. And further past that, basically in the background, you were able to see an enormous storm cloud, miles and miles and miles large. And at the forefront of this, in a huge fortress-like encampment, comprised of bodies of cut up, dissected devils, souls being mutilated and torn and used as decoration. And at the very top, basically sitting atop a rocky face, an enormous creature. A giant by no stretch of hyperbole. Kosh-Tiktakai sat atop this encampment that looked to be almost the size of Fort Capstone. Demons fly around, make up guards along the walls. You are about 5 miles outside of this place as you all take in the environment and your stomach begins to settle from the teleportation. You all take in the enormity of this task, because for some of you, this was one of the first times fighting together, and one of the last times for some. So, heroes, champions, what would you like to do?
I want to take a long rest.
We did take a long rest.
I know. What did I take damage from? I don't remember.
The traps.
The traps.
From the
You
door.
walked
Oh
through
yeah,
the
they
door.
fucked me up. I remember that.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, why am I down 50 HP?
yeah.
Lepitor's gonna scream. Yeah, what the fuck was that? Where are we? Somebody explain.
Marco, what deal did you make?
I don't think the specifics of the deal matter. What matters is we're here in front of us, and you guys lied to me about the size of Kosh-Tiktakai. So
Koshteki, I think it was.
Did we
I mean,
lie? I don't think we
You-
lied.
you guys really were alluding to the fact that he was a medium, small size creature, and that is not this right here.
Either way, we said he was powerful. He killed one of us.
Well,
If-
look, we're here now. Okay, we didn't have to travel through the hellscape. Okay, so deal's a deal. Filling in the gaps for freaking Redulus here. So let's go ahead and get this done, right? And the deal won't actually matter at the end of it.
I'm kind of nudge you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I like his confidence. If only.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna have to not only fight Kosh-Tiktakai, but also all the demons at this camp. So how are we gonna do that?
Well, that... Damn,
We're gonna find out.
I'm sure if we challenge Kosh-Tiktakai,
that's
we
what I
can
was
just
thinking.
face him alone. And if we win, we should be able to avoid fighting the masses as the de facto strongest person in the area.
Then again, who knows if this dude plays fair?
I'm just gonna guess no.
What,
Not gonna do a
what makes you
moonbeam.
think he's gonna do that?
You know, then maybe we wire the whole place to blow while we're at it. I don't know.
That's an idea.
I'm glad I brought all that C4.
Look, all I'm trying to say is I wouldn't have had to made a deal if maybe previous deals were a little bit stronger. And maybe we wouldn't have had to made a intro deal if we knew what the heck we were doing in this place. And look, I'm here for adventure, but we do not want to dilly-dally. So we should probably be trying to figure out what we're doing, one goal at a time, so we can get out of here. We've already expended too much time as it is. And the longer we go, I feel like the more chance that we're all going to perish here, which none of us want.
Make a good point, Marco. Looks like we have a new team leader. Am I right, guys?
That's not what I want. That's not what I want.
Okay, so what's the plan? Does anybody see anything that we can do?
We're a couple miles out. I'm sure we can get closer without being seen.
You said
Is
we
there
could
a lot of
Sorry, go ahead.
is there a lot of travel outside of like the camp and stuff?
Make me a perception check.
Uh, 26. I got natural.
Natural 20.
Yeah, 26.
Yes. The terrain here is that original kind of rocky, like hellscape kind of vibe here. And there is not nearly as much ash and cloudy covering here. It's very out and open. You see there is a lot of traffic on the outside. There seems to be like little battalions of roaming tiny imp-like creatures that roll around the outside, and there is a constant like coming and going of creatures, large and small battalions of like demons coming out, as well as hundreds flying in the sky around here. This is like a true like demonic paradise. And on a natural 20, the amount that you see here, if the entire little fortress is fully like at capacity, as you assume, you estimate there's probably like 40 to 50,000 demons residing in this place, of all varying sizes. You can't even, there's like walls and stuff, but they're half made walls. And the fortress has like an escalating, like a verticality to it. It's not laid out and wide like the bazaar. There's like a ground level and like a series of crazy scaffolding that lead to the next level, which is like made of bodies and bones. And it goes up about 4 or 5 levels. And at the very top, literally like in a throne carved out of a mountain, lies like a huge humanoid creature who you assume to be Kosh-Tiktakai. On that, I'll give you this too. As you're kind of moving towards this area and taking a better sightline, you see maybe like 20 or 30 miles, at least a day's journey, let's say east. There is another encampment closer to that large flesh wall that is way bigger than this one, and has a different architecture to it. But you can just see it far off in the distance, just like the towers and stuff.
I would point all these things out, make sure everybody's aware of them.
Guidus points out all that stuff. You're all aware of that.
Does anybody have like,
There's-
Okay, cool.
super long
Thank you,
range
guys.
attacks? Maybe they could try and hit him and have him come to us. A hell of a bow or something.
Just
Everything
one
on my
arrow.
long bow.
What the hell?
I'm s- Everyone else stay here. I'm gonna go by myself.
gonna go check it out.
Yeah, I'm still worried about fighting the masses here. If there's tens of thousands of demons, I don't think we stand a chance.
How far off is this like other encampment?
I'd say at least a day's journey. That could range from like 15 to 30 miles, depending on how quick you guys were.
Hmm.
Well,
Does it look like
we're
we
here
can
for.
we can sneak in? Is that possible?
From this far away, it's kind of hard to tell. You would have to get within at least a mile to even get like a decent, which is it's fairly easy to get closer. You're not in a widespread desert. There are spires of rock and like cliff faces and stuff that you could get close enough to get a better idea. You would just have to travel that way.
I say we then do that. We get closer to
Get as close as possible.
Yeah, see at least what we're dealing with somewhat. Maybe try to sneak in if we can.
Yeah.
Reevaluate then.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Are you guys trying to be stealthy, normal pace, or are you trying to get there quick?
We shouldn't have
We
to
don't want-
stealth until.
Yeah, we don't want to pull any attraction right now. We should do the stealthy.
You're saying we do stealth?
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
we
this
should at least
far
be
out?
wary. I mean, they could have people on watch. We could easily be spotted this far out too.
That's true. Also,
I'll concede.
they have shit flying in the sky, so if we're not stealthy about it, we could probably be seen with it.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna stealth.
Yeah.
Everybody, give me a stealth check. We'll do a group stealth check.
Success. 6.
9.
Fail, fail,
24.
succeed,
Double succeed, right?
22.
succeed,
Is that DeMarco?
13.
succeed. As you all begin prowling through this rocky terrain, you all take in how this environment is just unsuitable for creatures. The rocks cut and scrape. They are this like porous cutting material that as you even like run your hand over to try to brace yourself from falling, it cuts little grooves into your palms. Stealthily approaching this encampment, though, has given you a boost to preventing bad mistakes of a basically a lot of the dangers that were here. By going at a slower pace, you were able to find them out, where rocks would disintegrate beneath your feet, sulfuric plumes cutting out, little volcanic steam pits that would shoot and spray. You were able to navigate around. As you get within 1.5 miles away from this encampment, you notice as you crest over this or around this spiry rock that kind of descends into a large ramp before a widespread, let's say, field before the encampment, you see there is a group of creatures, quadrupedal. It almost looks like they're grazing down maybe 0.5 mile beneath you. But there's no plants or anything down there. These creatures they almost look like skeletons, how thin they are. They have long and like quadra-jointed legs and arms, and their heads are turned upside down, so their mouths are facing the sky while the eyes almost like prowl the ground beneath them with this huge pig-like nose. There may be like 7, they're like horse-sized creatures, and they are prowling the outskirts, sniffing and eating the ground. You make out that there is about 8 or 9 packs of these things all around this area, in various like a mile spread. There's just these weird creatures out in front of this building, and they look like they have some sort of sensory boost to them in a way. They're always like checking stuff.
So it looks like it'd be pretty difficult to sneak into this place.
From these creatures alone, it looks difficult to get past them if they're even like, intelligent at all. They might get alerted or startled. That would be one thing you'd have to get past, let alone getting to the walls. There are no gates or like bastions. There's just one enormous opening at the front. And then it looks like you see, even from this far out, there are creatures that like just crawl over the walls if they want to go through them. They just like crawl over and land on the front and then walk out, scurry around. Varying in all shapes and sizes. Insect-like ones, humanoid ones, large, lumbering. They look like ogres or giants, but their face is just like a mouth, like one big mouth, no eyes, like huge tombstone-like teeth. It's a freak show.
And just to clarify, we haven't seen any of these people at the previous city, right? All these creatures are new.
They look like you've not seen a lot of these creatures, no. Not up close and personal.
Looks like it's going to be difficult to get in.
Yeah.
This is
We
kind
can't
of your
just-
expertise of stealthing around. Think we have a chance?
As a group, it doesn't seem like it. Maybe a few people can sneak by these, but
We don't stand a chance against Kashtik Dakai without our group, probably.
Right. I mean, it seems like this is test number 1. We got to get him to us regardless. Because even if we get through these things, we still have the masses and the hordes to contend with. So, I don't know. There's just got to be some way of getting him 1v us, basically.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be similar to what was going on at the tower, where those creatures won't attack us.
You mean just like walking through?
Yeah. So I said we try to sneak in still, but if we fail, pray that it's that kind of situation.
Maybe try with just one first, then the whole group, or you think send it?
Maybe just send one for recon. I feel like if we all go, we're gonna get caught for sure.
I mean, you want me to try and do the same thing I did at the
I
last
got
city? He's got it.
I was gonna say, does it like make a difference if it's the most stealthy person? Like, shouldn't we send someone only kind of stealthy to see?
So
if
we
they
can
can walk
see
through?
like the minimum.
Yeah.
Let's get the average stealth requirement here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a new perspective, sure.
Notice I've been watching you, and I feel like I picked up a couple things. So
Show me.
I don't know. I think Tormund might be able to do something here. If not, I'll definitely stroll forward. I think it's kind of deceiving if the most stealthy person makes it through.
I just realized I'm doing the same thing I did with the door. Basically, like, I'll go first. I'll take all the damage.
When's the worst
I'll,
thing that happened?
I'll save Akuji.
Yeah.
He's a hero.
I can give it a
Hey,
try.
So
Colin.
who's gonna go stealth? Yeah, go ahead.
From the last time we fought Kashtik Dakai,
Mm-hmm.
he grew as he was in the plane, right? We didn't have any information if the portal he came through was helping him grow.
There was some rolls that were made to determine the encounter,
Mm.
and what you would deduce is that the rift or the ritual that was being enacted, the 3 little pyres that were set up were meant to like create and expand the rift open.
Mhm.
And Kashtik Dakai was coming through and basically like adapting to this new plane. So he was like growing in size, but that was just because a demon's biology has to change as they enter the prime material realm. So he wasn't even at full strength. So he was, in a sense, growing. It was mainly like he was changing.
Okay.
And so you said the other camp that was off in the distance, it was like a slightly different architecture, like different than this one. And about how far away was that?
15, 20 miles away.
Okay. So I suppose another option we could do is maybe we go to the other camp we saw way off and see if perhaps, I don't know, maybe we can recruit them to help us in battle.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thought.
Yeah, maybe if they're devils, then we can.
Seems like
Grab
they're a
together.
plague even down here, right? So somebody wants to get rid of them that would be willing to throw something at it as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now our current plan seems kind of hopeless, if I'm being honest.
And I'm just playing devil's advocate here. But we've been down here for a minute already. And it kind of seems like the plan that we start with, we divert to a secondary plan, which diverts us to another plan. And we haven't even made it to that whatever city in the first place. And we're already 2 times off. I'm just saying the potential of whatever could be at that other place. How do we even know if we could get that to help? Do you think that would actually improve our situation here currently, or are we just continually side questing at this point? And again, this is a guy with no experience here, so just, tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm actually with Marco on this one. I think the odds of someone being able to help us will go just like it did with the Grand Appraiser. They don't give a shit. They're all for themselves. Also, we're not from here, so even more so, I think they're not going to want to help us. No matter how much they dislike Karshtik Takai. Also, that would take us quite a while to get to there. And he sent us here because this is where Karshtik Takai is. So I feel like we'd just be wasting a lot of extra time in the end. And potentially dying wherever that place is. Didn't you say, Colin, it was a lot bigger than this place?
Yeah.
Yeah, comparatively in size, so there's probably more enemies and maybe even more powerful creatures that we could run into.
So how long would it take us to get there on foot? About?
Making a survival check.
These are all also, assumptions. All of these bad things. There could be good there. You don't know that.
I mean, I would agree with you, but we're actually in hell right
Six.
now, and it's
That-
pretty much all gone bad since.
I mean, true, but
6?
Yeah, 6.
At least a day. Like a full 10, 12 hour march there. Unless you were able to find a faster means of transportation.
Yeah, what about by horse? And
You could cut that in half.
so it'd still take.
That's crazy. Jordan just ran that distance.
Okay, another quick question. I forget. Do we understand how hierarchy works here, or no? How power's gained?
Yes. Curse, that infernal kin you had talked to, had kind of loosely described that creatures, well, devils, this is how devils function, is if a weaker entity takes out a stronger entity, they basically gain their strength. So yeah, there is a tier system of
Okay.
devils here. And there's a rule set pretty much.
Okay, so I'm just kind of spitballing here. I don't know. If we go somewhere else, like the city where we were at, where we're still welcomed in a sense,
Mhm.
maybe there's some merit to not asking the strongest person there, but somebody who has some kind of power, and enticing them to come with us to make themselves greater down here. You know what I'm trying to say? They came over here, help us
Yeah.
kill them. Maybe that's enough motivation to help fight an army.
I guess, do we even know how to get back? And I mean, we teleported here.
I think our best bet would be going to that place in the distance, but we have no idea where that is.
Killing Kashyyyk Takai will find us a means of way back to where we were previous. I know that much.
Was that part of your
This
deal?
was part of your deal. You can't say.
My deal is complete with Kashyyyk Takai dies, and I feel like that's part of Redless as well. So we're gonna be back by then. That's like a main quest right now. I'm definitely I'm just playing advocate here. I see exactly where you're coming from, with possibly gaining some backup or more powerful. I just forgive me if I'm a little bit more suspicious at the chance of backup arriving or gaining some sort of help from a place like this where selfishness seems to be the driving factor. But since it kind of seems like we're gonna have to stealth our way closer anyways, maybe this is the time to split forces and see.
I guess I do see what you're saying about, things are sketchy down here, but it also does seem like they are very keen on their deals, right? So if you make that deal, I feel like they're going to honor that, whatever it may be.
And I agree with you. I think the deals will be honored. I just hesitate to enter into another deal after our 2 deals deep without further, progress towards our initial goal of being here in the first place.
I feel like a lot of these deals are being made with hopes that we fail. Because he kept saying that it's a win-win for him.
Yeah, because he
If we fail,
gets rid of
he
Kashyyyk
gets
Takai, or he
soul.
gets your soul.
So,
I mean, we're also kind of the people that are taking on the biggest, risks and such of the world. I mean, that's kind of what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm definitely not against it. By no means am I against looking for help. I think seeing as the deal that I made requires me to be here, I think I'm going to stay and at the very minimum try to prod and see if there's another way in. But I'm not against for someone going for backup or assistance or a deal or whatever it is.
Tormund, can you make me a perception check?
well,
As you're all discussing this and weighing your options in this rocky valley, as you're looking at both the encampment, the fortress of Kashyyyk Takai, and the far-off city or whatever it is, you see at the encampment along the walls where like those bodies are hung and splayed out. You see there are some that they're like little faint glowing outlines, like this kind of pale bluish greenish color, maybe like 5 or 6 you see spread out across the walls.
I don't know what that means. I just see like the pale greenish outline.
That's what you see.
So what do we think? We need to make a decision.
Redless, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm a fan of going in there, one person, buying it out. We get a good feel of the land. Also, I am for trying our luck with the other fortress on the, distance. Granted, we all took a shitty deal by becoming champions, so you guys, looking at Lipitor and Marco, those a shit time to join us. So, unfortunately, we all made shit deals.
Well, for the sake of time, and while you are here trying to find a way to sneak into this place,
we might.
I can make my way to the other city, scope it out, and see if I can recruit any reinforcements. I'm going to start to cast Find Greater Steed again. Get my dragon back.
Mark off another 4th level spell slot. About 10 minutes transpire, and then a loud crash like a lightning strike when the dragon returns on the ground. And I'll remind you, this is a creature that is not like a full dragon size. It's like the size of a riding horse. You may be able to carry 1 or 2 people. That's it.
Do you know roughly how long it would take him to make that trip while riding the dragon? Is it much shorter? Because if it's not much faster, then we'd probably have to wait like at least 2 days for you to get there and back before we could do anything.
So the reason why it's taking so long to get to that other place is because the terrain, like traversing by foot, is going to take a while. If you fly, it cuts it in like a quarter of the time, especially with this speed, this mount's flying speed.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll say you could probably get there within like 2 or 3 hours. There are creatures flying in the sky, which poses a small problem, but it's way faster.
I can take him. Right, I'm gonna mount on top of the dragon. Well, if it's all the same to you, I'll take out and see what I can discover.
I'll go ahead and sneak in this fortress, see what I can find out.
Guidus, you want to accompany Lipitor?
I can go either or. It doesn't really matter. Lipitor, if you want somebody to go with you, I will.
I would suggest that if we split up, at least it's not 1 and 4.
What?
I mean, guys, you'll be needed here to sneak in for your stealth abilities.
I'll be able to sneak in.
Okay, word.
Okay, so who's splitting up and who's going where?
Hop on, Guidus.
Yeah, I'm suggesting that Guidus go so Lipitor's not just completely alone.
Okay.
Marco,
but that's still up to Guidus, though.
Do you want to go, Guidus, or you want to stay?
I'll go with Lipitor.
Lipitor and Guidus mount on top of this, whose almost like scales form like a saddle. The large dragon spreads out its wings, almost like large moth wings with clear kind of mosaic veins flowing through it, and takes out and soars through the skyline and begins to head towards the direction of the fortress. What is this remaining party doing as they transport themselves there?
Redolus, you said you believe that Yerbit will be able to sneak past.
I have some abilities that helps me sneak past easier.
On a short rest, how long is that?
An hour.
Okay. Well, while Redolus is doing that, I might try and take a short rest to recover some of that damage that I took from the traps.
I can guard Tormund during that short rest.
Okay. So you two are going to try a, short rest-ish. And then Redolus is going to try to infiltrate. Roll me a Constitution saving throw, Tormund.
Me?
Yep.
$25.
Okay, you pass. You can successfully take your short rest for an hour. Mark off half rations for you. Redulus.
Before I head out, I'm a cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay, last for an hour.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting to take up.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check, and you can add 10.
30.
What are you looking for at the? What is your full plan for this whole layout? We're not gonna go through every single encounter and stuff, but what is your main goal of this?
Main focus:
Blow up.
find a weak spot to enter in. After that, get a layout of the land, and hopefully find an easier route to Kashyyyk Kai. Or if at all possible, find means of making this fight easier.
Okay. So you're going to roll me an investigation check first.
Okay.
This is going to scout the military, the movement of the creatures to see if there's a weak opening, and if it's even possible, if there's an entrance that allows this.
Okay. Investigation. Uh, 19.
19. You make it past those weird quadrupedal livestock creatures, and as you get closer, you see the part where their mouths are at the top of their head. They're long and jagged teeth. There are also bone antlers that come out of the jaws of them, almost reverse mandibles and claws. You are able to sneak past these creatures, but you do recognize they have an intense sense of smell. Even with a 30, as you're approaching, there is a breeze that comes through, a sulfurous wave of fumes, and they all get up and start calling to each other. They're pack animals outside these walls. That's a very difficult thing to get by. As you approach the walls, you get there. You see there are they're insect-like creatures, large grubs that are stuck to the sides of the walls with almost millipede legs, and they are stretching and elongating, crawling across the surface of the wall, feasting on the viscera and the carrion of the bodies on the outskirts of the wall. You notice they have one huge eye pupil that kind of comes out of a socket of flesh, and then they'll scan around and then start devouring the bodies. That's another sense of these creatures are very highly tuned to their surroundings, and there are hundreds scattered across the wall, and you hear moans of devils as they're getting devoured alive. As far as other entrances, there are cracks along the wall that you could maybe dig under and crawl through and make it in. Would you try to do that? Because there's only one blatant entrance, as well as wasp-like holes in the wall. It's the walls are also a wasp nest where the little grub people come out and start feasting on the bodies.
Yeah, I would try to make that hole underneath those cracks.
Okay. You begin to dig, and you feel like you have a wide enough area you can crawl under the wall. As soon as your head pops in, you see thousands of demons here. Without even entering into the fortress, it is like a hive of activity. There are creatures picking up large bodies, twisting devils in half, and drinking the viscera that comes out of their bodies and throwing them to the side. You see them picking up little souls of individuals,
taking their talon fingers and digging it into their skull like they're trying to take a cork out of a wine bottle and popping it off and eating it. From this, you determine the only way to even make it through the actual fortress would be complete invisibility. There is no stealthing through this. There aren't like hidden alleys, and unlike the Devil Bazaar, none of these creatures look even semi like intelligent. There's like a bestial nature you notice here. So that is all to say, there is a way through. You could go through the little holes in the wall, the cracks under from a ground assault. But making your way through the city unnoticed is impossible. Even with, if you roll a 35 on stealth, there's no way, because you would stick out like a sore thumb. Unless you were able to completely block everybody's, make everybody invisible, maybe. And that's even if the creatures can't see through invisibility. And very powerful creatures, that is just a minor trick to it. But make me a perception check now. As you're like here, just on the ground, lying there, as you see this, like, it is the most putrid thing you've ever smelt and seen. It is depravity and gluttony and just pure decay made manifest here.
Fuck yeah. That's gross. Nat 20 for 26.
You see in the far off area, there is one devil who has multiple heads. It looks like a wasp that could walk on 4 legs, but hanging from its thorax is a bunch of heads that just like are constantly looking around. It goes to this huge clump of egg sacs that are tucked in a corner, rips one open and pulls out this little tendril like creature that wriggles and writhes. You notice it is a very familiar creature. It resembles that of the ones that assaulted the walls of Fort Capstone. It takes those little creatures that would explode when they took enough damage, stuffs it in like a crate full of like hundreds of them, and starts to push it further into the fortress, like into a cavern.
Hey. Fuck, this is starting to become my mission now. Fuck, I don't think I have anything.
So there's 2 separate, I just want to be clear with this.
Yeah.
There is like a wall of egg sacs where he like found this one. And then there's also, he pushed a bunch of them into like a cave that was carved into the rock. So there's 2 separate sets of them.
But the cave is like still underneath this monstrous fort.
It's not underneath. You can see, let's say you're at the main level. In one of the walls of the mountain that this place is wrapped around, there's a hole, which is the cave.
Right. Well, I kind of want to go in deeper, but the only way you said I would be able to is if literally invisible, correct?
That apparent, like, again.
I just taking it from what I see.
Yeah, you were very stealthy approaching in. It was a very difficult stealth check. It is impossible to just like dart from shadow to shadow here. There are so many creatures everywhere. You would either have to completely disguise yourself or be completely unseen to the eye.
I'd like to pull up my teleportation scroll that I've been holding this whole time.
Okay, where do you want to go?
To Kosh Guy.
Oh, done. You see Tormund.
I'm just falling.
Okay. Well, fuck it. Either disguise myself or go invisible. And I'm gonna try using this. Seeing that it's either invisibility or literally being them, I think I'd rather just be them. So, could I possibly cast Disguise Self as one of those devils or demons? Sorry.
Sorry, just reading the spell.
No, you're fine.
You can. I'll remind you, it is a first level illusion spell. It is the weakest type of magic.
Right.
So it won't hold up very well against like a close inspection.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can cast that and try to like change your body type. Describe how you look.
Well, first I'll just upcast it to a level 3. I'll do that, and then I'll do ooh,
I'll
what
tell
kind of
you, just so you
yeah?
know, upcasting doesn't like give you any benefit.
It doesn't give it any benefit.
No,
Okay, then I'll just stick to level 1 then. Sorry, I
I'm
thought
just
it
saying
did.
just saying like it's a weak spell, so like
Mhm.
it's
But
not like every
yeah,
if it was like an 8th level spell and it was like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, you feel very confident. You know this is like a very cheap trick that you're doing.
yeah,
So
yeah. I guess I'll go with like something fairly simple but still grotesque.
Okay.
I guess so. It'll just be like me, 3 arms instead, kind of skinny, really
Uh-huh.
fat at the very base of my body. Um, kind of make myself shorter by a
Okay.
foot, and just balding, disgusting
Okay.
clothing.
And what are you doing?
Just kind of feeling out like if I walk by a little bit.
Okay. You exit out of your hole, begin like crawling, making this more demonic like cater to your walk,
Mhm.
or gait to your walk, and immediately within like a minute, a buzzing little creature that looks like it's been, it looks like a bee that's been turned inside out, like flies past you, and you hear and like take note of you and flip around, and you begin to hear, as soon as it passes by you, you notice it's somehow been alerted by something. uh it begins to like open its mouth as you look at it and like prepare a guttural scream. You quickly gut it, cut its head, and it falls to the ground. um no other creatures take notice as it's close, but
Mhm.
even within that immediate, there was something that it was able to tell on you,
Okay.
and it alerted.
I guess having that encounter, that's good enough for me to tell, like, okay, these creatures have some semblance of intelligence.
Uh-huh.
Enough to, like, tell a disguise, so...
Yeah,
Uh,
if you roll me like a survival or nature check.
okay. Show me what. Let's go... nature. That's really good, too. 22.
These immediately you're able to take in, no matter what these demons are, they are like pure, not predators, but they are able to smell something or detect something within you as a mortal that they immediately were like, this is not supposed to be here. Unlike at the bazaar where the devils just didn't care, here they're like, they feast on meat and souls, and you are literally comprised of both of those things. And
Okay.
with that, you might even know invisibility might not even matter, because if they can smell us or detect us by another way, like they'll probably just get alerted.
Okay. Just taking in all the information. I'm just gonna go ahead and retreat.
Okay.
Getting back is gonna be a little harder now. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to the whole. Outcast. Pass without a trace once more.
Okay. A couple hours go by, Tormund and Marco, and you see Redulus eventually crest up over the rocky crag face.
Glad to see you alive.
What'd you find out?
A lot, and I kind of relay the whole layout. Note of the way they act. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Invisibility might not even be a chance either. Sneak in is impossible. It's not up for debate. We're not doing that.
Okay.
There is some hope. Norman, you remember those little bomb things, those creatures? There's a shit ton of them in there. So, could actually completely blow up this place as well.
You're saying they got bombs in there?
Creatures take damage, convert that into an explosive energy, basically.
So it's like an
yeah, you haven't-
exponential thing.
What was that last part?
It's like an exponential thing. You're saying if we somehow gave enough of these creatures enough damage, they would compound and explode that damage.
I
Even
saw
probably
one.
just one.
I saw one put in one of those creatures into a crate and push it. So it's possible we can blow this whole fortress to the next plane.
Well, just seeing as you are not even our most stealthy person, we're able to achieve getting in and getting out. Do you think, in your opinion, we could replicate that but add damage as well to these creatures?
It's gonna be hard, but a whole group? No. This would have to be one person. And making it out is still a 50-50.
With that, as these three begin to discuss the possibilities, we pan over hours away to the dragon mounted by our elf and Githyanki friend. As you begin flying over the ruinous wastelands of Avernus, you begin growing closer and closer to this grand crystallized wall of flesh that extends past the ashy cloud line. An enormous, if it was a structure, something the scale you've never witnessed in your life. Bigger than mountains, bigger than mountain ranges. It is a widespread barrier. And as you fly closer and closer to this city, or whatever it is, you notice it is comprised of thousands of towers, watchtowers. And you notice flying over and even on the landscape, immediately you can take in that this is a devil encampment, similar to the bazaar. The architecture here is militaristic, it is gothic in nature, and it is maybe 4 times as large as the bazaar was, and there are droves of devils in armor mounted on creatures, and they have built a series of defenses spanning towards the wall in the large crack in it. What would you two like to do?
So they just have a bunch of like soldiers and stuff, like an army on standby. It looks like.
It kind of does look like an army on standby, but there's an activity, there's an active nature here for sure. They aren't pushed all the way up to the crack. Like there's almost like a no man's land, it kind of looks like, between the two. And there's thousands of bodies sprawled out but in no man's land.
Dead bodies?
Looks to be. You're a few miles up in the sky.
Well, guys, I think we should. And I don't think we should fly straight into the middle of this thing. If they think we're enemies, they'll just shoot us down and kill us pretty quick. If we can get close to the wall, at least we can talk to somebody. Maybe we can see their intentions.
Yeah. Probably just moving closer to the wall. See what we can see. If there's a safer way or something.
So in the no man's land, there's like, it's just open space. There's like no cover, no.
There are small, like, little walls and not settlements, but like barricades set up. It kind of reminds you guys of how Fort Capstone looked after the first explosion at the wall, where there's like parts that are quartered off and other parts that aren't. I would like, as you fly closer to this, make me a perception check. You can both do it if you would like.
It's a natural 20 for a 26.
Wow.
16.
The crack in the wall is so enormous that the scale of it is kind of lost to you. But near the base, where it extends down towards the actual ground, you see a familiar sight. There are creatures pouring out of the crack endlessly, and they are like flooding over each other, kind of like that scene from Avengers Infinity War, where they're trying to like burst through the bubble and they're like crawling over each other. And there is a force that is trying to defend themselves from the endless outpouring. And what has resulted is there's like a set of defenses set up, a wide, like mile wide no man's land, and then whatever these creatures pouring out of the rift are. As you descend and slowly make your way down further, you can tell that just from the way they move, demons are pouring out of the rift, and devils have set up this enormous fortress city to like stop the flow in a way. But they haven't been able to completely create a concave around it. There are cracks throughout their defenses where like forces are spilling out and coming through, and they're just like doing their best to stop it, whatever that may be. So as far as safe entrance into the city, you have no idea. It's literally trying to like sneak into a military base.
But the city looks more demon or devil, sorry.
Yes,
right?
The city is devils for sure. There is like a rift of demons that is set up here in defense.
So right now there's actively demons coming out of the rift and attacking. Well, guys, I guess we have to show them that we're friendly one way or another. And I'm going to kind of force the dragon down to go and kind of breathe fire, make an attack along the line, just like swoop down, do a little A10 Warthog burst, and then come off.
Going down there, wait.
As soon as you begin to do that, you see a slew of arrows begin to shoot out from the devil side at you. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity do I have?
I assume both of us?
No, because it'll just be you're on the dragon, so whatever he gets is what you're gonna get. There's no.
Ooh.
Unless you want to jump off.
We'll see.
Like 1,000 feet up. Not 1,000.
We'll see.
But
What'd you say again? Sorry.
dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity. Oh, nice. That's a 27.
As soon as you begin to descend, you see the arrows come and you see them sparkle out. You pivot the dragon to like guide your way towards the wall direction to avoid the arrows who almost make purchase on your dragon. You take in that these entities here are just like whatever moves is getting gunned down on in this like no man's land area.
Fuck.
Maybe we just go towards the devils, like towards the city. See, if we can get in, or even have a conversation with somebody.
I mean, you don't think they'll still try to attack us if we fly straight at them?
Well, I'm thinking now they might, because they kind of already did. So I don't really know. They might have just assumed we're the part of the the demons.
Yes, can we circle around and go to like the opposite side, like opposite of the no man's land in that rift?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take it wide.
You do that. You circle to the other side. You see over there is less of like a defending position and more of like entities just kind of like an army settling in, resting, whatever means. All forms of devils, the same kind of ones you saw at the bazaar. But you could go through that way. There are multiple gates and like entrances into this place as well.
Okay. We think, should we just land at the outermost gate so we don't pose as much of a threat and see if we can try and talk to somebody?
Yeah, I'm thinking just land maybe further out. We'll just kind of walk up, maybe show we're not a threat or not
Yeah.
hostile.
Sounds good to me.
So you land?
Yeah, we're gonna land a little ways away.
Okay.
And we'll march our way there.
You approach the front gates. You see there are devils who are posted up there. And as soon as you get within, they shout out in the distance, "Arthur is here!" in a language you both don't understand.
I didn't think about that part.
What do you do?
Do I have... I guess I'm just gonna shout back. Like, hello! We are here to help.
The two devils on top with their bows like kind of readied. As soon as you speak, they kind of their heads kind of shake a little bit, and then you hear another voice kind of clear out from the group that says, "What business do you have here at the rift?" And another devil approaches, who stands maybe like 7 feet tall, big red leathery bat wings at its back. It resembles the ones that were in the guard room at Malreth's little vault area, but it speaks in common.
Nice.
Nice.
I believe we have a common enemy. See, the demons have been giving you quite some trouble as well as us. We're here to help you eradicate them. And we have our own force positioned by... What was his name? I'm gonna look at guys and be like, what was his name again? Kashiktakai's fortress. We are in need of assistance and figured if we can team together, then we can take out the larger enemy over yonder.
They turn their nose and like sniff deeply, and they say,
We can smell your flesh here. Mortals never wander the wastes. And your lies do not purview here.
What can I show you? We do not lie.
there's like a tension that begins to rise slightly.
Guys, you have any ideas?
I'll look up at the devil and I'll yell, it must be hard to trust us, knowing where we're from, I'm sure, but we do have a common enemy. We need Kustiktakai gone, maybe just as much as you. Even if there's a deal to be worked out, surely there's a conversation that we can have.
Roll me a persuasion check.
I'm sure I have a good persuasion. 13.
He scoffs, says something to the other devils in a language in Infernal, and then says,
Fine, we will take you to Zargoth, but you will be chained until we can make sure you do not lie further.
So I just look over at you.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the sound of that. I guess when we were flying overhead, looking at the rift, I mean, we weren't really able to. Were we able to see anything that was potentially holding the rift open? Because, like, for me, I know that they had said when they fought Kushtaka before, there were like pillars. It seemed like that was what was holding the rift open. I don't know if we could have noticed anything that was weirdly placed or looked off.
No. Actually, you notice it was almost like a natural, like an earthquake kind of. There was a very natural aesthetic to this huge crack that appeared there, but there was no like magical runes or pillars or pyres lit. It looked very strange. You did see though that there was no light coming from the rift. Like it looked like a pitch black, like crack in a huge rock. Devils begin to descend from the guard barracks. They hold chains and foot wrappings, as well as I don't know what the ones that go around your neck are called, but manacles. They begin to descend. They're not like walking towards you, but they're standing at the gate, like waiting for you to come to them. The devil speaks up again and says,
Our battle has been going for some time. Zargoth, the Lord of the Rift, is an inquisitive mind. But you will not be free here, mortals.
How you feeling?
Well, I'm very skeptical. I feel like if we go up there, we'll have to make a deal with this dude. So that's not great. On the other side, if he doesn't like what we say, we could just be captured and then never escape. But I guess on the other side of the coin, we could just turn and run. That doesn't really achieve anything. We're still with the same problem. I mean, maybe it'd be fine. I don't really know. I mean, maybe if you could find a way to close the rift, then they would trust us and we wouldn't have to go with shackles on. But there's no guarantee that could happen. It's kind of a coin flip. What do you think?
I think all of those same things, basically. But as scary as it is, I feel like if we do just as he says, tell the truth or whatever, maybe we can just go in there, have this and get out. I don't know if we have to make a deal, but maybe we can get out without one.
I guess it's worth a shot.
What do you do?
I'm gonna hold Gaius' hand. No, I'm just kidding. Start walking towards
That
them.
is so cute.
Oh. Yeah,
Do you
I'll
walk
start
towards the
walking
devils?
towards the gate. Yeah.
They immediately, as soon as you approach, go to shackle your wrists, your ankles, and to your neck, and you lie on a chain like those of the souls you saw going from the caravan out front. You allow this to happen?
Yep.
Okay. They take you to a prison and you never leave. And
Sick.
that's Jordan and Colt. Could you please leave the call? You are bound in hell forever and eternity.
Can I use a moonbeam to off myself?
No, they got your hands are wrapped. You can't cast somatic. They bind your mouth, so you can't speak the verbal. No, the devils clamp them on, and you begin march through the inner military city of these devils. And you notice here where the bazaar was filled with like this almost glee, there is just pure malice and hatred here, and you can almost feel it in your boiling inside of you. As you're chained and stuff, Lepitor, you're thinking in your head of, how did I even fucking get here? Helping fucking champions of gods and this fucking bullshit. And Gaius, you're starting to think of just every single step in this place is just filled with another layer of bullshit and difficulty. And now you might be locked up here forever. And it overtakes you. There's this bloodlust that is just pouring out. You walk for a few, like half an hour, and you're eventually led to this center point here that looks like an enormous, like World War II kind of style bunker, but it is carved out of bones, like rib cages stacked on top of each other, wrapped in chains. A heavy military aesthetic. This devil takes you up front, and a huge hulking devil with a fiery whip and mace stops him, says,
I hear clearly.
The devil speaks back, the one that has you in chains. And then the two stop, kind of glare at each other. There's like a posturing for a second. And then the big bulky one finally opens this metal door that enters into this enormous like hub of activity. There are armored individuals taking parchments of stretched out skin, carving out blood. There are others like with bundles of arrows and crossbow bolts scampering out of tunnels. And at the very center, kind of postured at a table, like a war room, is this just disgusting looking devil. They're a massive bull-headed entity, literally, with like the head of like a flayed bull. They tower over the other devils. The hulking frame is grotesque and imposing. The skin is a thick, leathery crimson, stretched over grotesque rolls of fat that bulge out. They have jagged horns that curl to either side like bull horns, and their maw is filled with uneven fang-like teeth that is forever like having saliva pour out of the sides. A short kind of caved in snout, and every single time they breathe out, smoke comes out of their nose. They have medals, which are like just skulls of creatures literally like stapled to their skin across, and they have at their side an enormous cleaver, just like straight up a cleaver. They stand and start uttering orders to a fleet of imps that flutter out of the way, turn around and look at your devil leading them, and just says,
What is this you've brought to me?
The devil speaks up and says,
These creatures believe they have insight into the demon scum located at the fortress far from the rift. They wish to discuss with you, mighty lord.
and does a deep bow. The devil looks at them and says, or sniffs, the large, imposing, the one that apparently known as Zirgoth, looks at you, sniffs deeply.
Mortals from the plain. What business do you have here at the rift?
Looks to you.
We seem to have the understanding, the same understanding that Kostiktikai is a problem here and where we are from. He keeps showing up, and it's time for us to get rid of him. We believe that we can potentially take him out at his fortress, but we don't have the army to get through the waves of soldiers he has. We were hoping maybe we could discuss with you a way to help each other by taking him out of the picture.
They take a few steps, their thighs like tree trunks and their feet like elephant feet. Just they get within 10 feet and you immediately smell just like rotting meat and the smell of like dirty, oily skin. They lean over, and as they do, like a little bead of saliva drips and lands like on your forearm, Lepitor, as they eye you up and down.
I know of this Kostiktikai. They escaped my wrath.
And they slam their hand on the ground, and you both like jump up like a foot.
Breach through. I requested more assistance from the Lord of War, but they do not listen.
They slam their hand across, and the table flips and impacts the wall, crushing like 6 or 7 imps. They just like splatter against the wall.
These abominations cross from the abyss.
You start to see them recollect themselves. There was like a bit of rage that was pouring out, and even you started to feel angry. Like, how dare this creature walk up to you and try to assert dominance, and you begin to fight against the chain slightly. They just ooze anger from them.
But it would be quite an ordeal to take out this entity. Maybe. It would take too many of my forces. We would leave the rift undefended. And the entities would pour in further.
You see there's like a dissonance. They think it's a good idea and the glory is there, but also like they can't fully convince themselves. But you get the glimpse. There's a crack in the armor.
Lord, if I may, we are here with a group of champions. We are part of those champions. We've been sent here from the gods of our own plane. I know the gods don't mean much to you here, but hopefully you can attest to our capabilities. And some of these champions have faced Kostiktikai before, and they nearly killed him if he had not bleed. I believe with your help, killing Kostiktikai is a guarantee.
They look back and the eyes flare a little brighter. Saliva drips down, starting to form a puddle at their feet.
These creatures do not die. They merely return to their abyss. But even to remove them for some time would give us an upper hand, and maybe we could win and finally push forward into this rift. What offer would you make to me to relinquish my forces to assault this?
Can I huddle with Guy just real quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead and huddle. I will listen.
You say you're huddling? Did you say we're huddling?
Yeah. Okay, guys, what do you think is a good offer? I don't want to fuck ourselves over here.
I don't know. It's a hard question because I don't really know. I don't really completely understand what's valuable yet. I mean,
they love
maybe
souls. We could.
Maybe if we tell him, I mean, literally all we want out of this is him dead. Anything else is his. I mean, I don't know if that means anything to him.
Fuck. I mean, our whole goal in this is to. Oh, I don't even know. I was gonna say if we could guarantee the end of the demons, if that is our goal here, is to stop these rifts from being possible in the first place. I don't know if you can guarantee that
Yeah,
the
they're
demon
gonna-
forces will end.
Yeah, and whatever we promise them, I mean, that's what it's gonna mean. We're gonna mean that, you know. Should we just be straight up and say we don't really know what we can offer you other than helping you get him out of here?
Yeah, we can start with that. We'll start with that. We'll see who it gets.
Okay, break.
All right. See, we were not sure what you fancy down here, what your price would be. I believe our offer would be our full support in killing Kashyyyk Kai. I believe you can benefit just as much as we can from this. We're willing to lay down our lives to kill that foul creature.
Roll me a persuasion check.
17. Yeah.
Go, Paladin.
To master any of my forces is already putting me at a disadvantage. The creatures never stop pouring from the rift. I can give you 10,000 devils, but in return, I must have at least that much returned to me. If you can guarantee a reinforcement of at least 10,000, I will help you.
So you want us to be able to provide an additional 10,000 troops to return to your walls?
Yes. Every soul that pours through to this plane gets filtered by that rat at the bazaar. If you can guarantee that they will arrive directly at my control, I will grant you this army.
They motion to a creature who's just like shrouded in a cloak, who begins to move forward. they begin to whisper.
There are many ways we can do this. A simple drop of water in a river. When you return to your world, could guarantee the souls arrive here instead. That would be our deal.
And they like pull out a little vial with like green liquid in it.
Wait, okay, just so I'm understanding this correctly, they want 10,000 souls from the world, like Exandria,
Mhm.
that will be sent here at some point, or we cause that.
Yeah, they're saying that like usually souls get sorted by Malrath and then they get distributed. He wants them straight 1-day shipping to him. And apparently this little vial will like mark them so they arrive directly. Or if there's like another way you want to do it, you can go to the Bronze Citadel and negotiate for 10,000 devils if you want.
Fuck, but we can't. To guarantee 10,000, that is a lot. Oh, what do you think, Gaius?
I don't know. How would we? Huh?
Go ahead.
I would ask, how do we decide the lives that you get?
This concoction will mark them with my brand. And as soon as they just are deceased, I will have reinforcements brought upon me, their souls manipulated by the Soul Forgers into devils at my command.
And this is just whenever they die, or this kills them?
If they are weak in spirit, it will eradicate their life instantly. If they are strong, they might be able to live for however longer their mortal lives allow.
Mass murder. Huh.
Mass murder.
You guys can't think of anything else that we could bargain with.
How much do souls cost at the bazaar?
Depends on their strength, how easily their soul, their energies can be manipulated. The stronger entities cost more, the weaker ones less.
All right, who's rolling death saves already?
No one yet.
Oh, that's no fun.
How about Lepitor?
What if
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
if we were able to remove the rift that you fight entirely.
They let out a crazy laugh.
They say, "You are not nearly as strong to do that. If it was even possible, it would already have been done. This rift has been here for thousands of years. It cannot be closed, only stemmed."
Good to know. Okay. Do you have an idea, Guidus?
Truthfully, none that are. They're all pretty dark.
What if you guys
So-
just build a big wall, like a roof, and put it over the portal? Nothing gets out. Simple fix.
Answer me this, mortals. Why do you care if these demons spawn here? You should not even be walking across this plain. Your stench fills the air.
Because they attack our own plane. We have seen these rifts. And we have fought them ourselves. We even believe we've encountered their leader.
Yes, they're just as much of a problem for us as they are for you.
Your problem is an outflow of our problem. This rift is not merely a physical one. It spans across the plains. Assist. It would fill me with such joy to kill these things on a true battlefield, but I must remain here. If
They stop themselves, say something to the hooded figure that pulls that potion kind of back. They respond back and forth in an infernal tongue for a minute. And then there's like a joy that kind of fills the room. And as that happens, you guys feel a little happier. Like, oh, this guy's like, ooh, kind of excited now.
Oh,
We
he's chill
might have-
now.
He likes us. We're friends.
He kneels down and like puts his elbows on his knees and says,
I believe we can even have a greater alliance. Your problem extends past this plane, yes?
Yes.
Our kind cannot exist on the mortal plane for long. Unless a ritual is created, one of blood. You grant us permission to enter in a battlefield of blood. And I'll give you 20,000 devils to assault this place. And a great bloody war will transpire on yours. One versus devils and demons in a place where neither can die, just endless fighting.
as they say this, their veins begin to like glow bright and hot, and you feel the steam coming off.
I can give you a mark that will allow us entrance into your world. To fight alongside you, companions in battle. My legions at my command.
How long would you get to stick around?
Is it like a permanent thing?
As long as those fetid creatures exist on that plane, so shall we.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's like
Can
he's
I
trying to
say-
like set us like? Is that really all he wants? Is just to come and fight and then like he's all right, cool, see you later, Or does he have a greater purpose?
Make me an insight check.
Get advantage. Nice. +1. That's a 21.
That's really good. There is an eagerness for battle on this creature's face. They are an emotional creature, and as soon as they see something that can benefit them greater, they want to take part in. There is truth. The logistics are that they can't allocate a lot of forces because the rift is like pouring out. So they'll give you more, but they're definitely getting something worth at least 20,000 devil soldiers out of the deal. If what they're asking is to do some magic ritual that allows them to enter into the prime material plane, that is a very costly thing, but he is also eyeing your desperate. Like, he's like, these people are desperate if they're asking me for help. I'll give them as much help as I can, but it comes at a great price. Specifically for you, Lepitor, you know that devils don't really they don't exist naturally out in the world. The only places they really came from was like the rift at the Apathetic Heart, that like portal.
Mhm.
So whatever ritual he's asking is going to it's going to shift the world. It's going to shift the world, period.
Mhm.
My
guess-
patience runs thin. This is my offer to you.
Would I know if the gods are strong enough to if we do that ritual, would the gods be strong enough to undo that in the future?
Roll me a religion check.
It's not going to be good.
You're gonna roll high, buddy.
That's a 4.
The gods are all powerful beings. They can do anything. They
anything.
can shift reality. They certainly would be able to undo a ritual by these significantly weaker devil lords. On a 4.
Sounds pretty good to me. I say we do it, guys. I think that's better than killing 10,000 people. Potentially. Allegedly.
I guess I'll look at you and I'll say, I don't mean this as it sounds, but it's more your world than mine. I think you should decide that, not me.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean it's not your world?
Just I'm not really from there, so we can talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time on the march to siege the demon compound. And I'll turn to, what was his name? Lord something?
Zirgoth.
Bill Zirgoth. I believe we have a deal.
Excellent.
They hold out their hand.
I'll shake it.
Your tiny baby hand in his palm, and as soon as he does, the room alights in devilish runes and fire. You feel your soul, a brand is burned on the interior of your being. Your whole essence is forever manipulated and altered. You know in your heart if this deal does not go through, he will face ravenous consequences. His entire being will be ripped and shredded and forever tortured, and you as well. If you do not complete this, your essence and body will be forever like the most torture you could ever imagine. As you sign across the river Styx, he lets out this like guttural
Gather the men. We march immediately.
The devils begin to rally and come forth. You hear like horns raveled out. He takes off. He grabs his enormous bullhorn, snaps it off, and blood spews out the side. Snaps the end off, and holds it to you. It's like 5 feet, or not 5 feet. Let's just say he snaps it down to size, makes it like a 2-foot horn.
Snap, snap, snap.
He holds it to you and says,
You will need to give this to the Lord of War in the Bronze Citadel. After this battle is fulfilled, he will know what to do with it.
He snaps to the entity, and they bring over a box that has a parchment written on it, holds it to them.
Only after this battle is done, this will teleport you to the Bronze Citadel. You can meet with the Lord of War there and complete our deal. And when my horn is called, the battalions of Avernus will be called to answer.
So you get the horn of Zirgoth and a teleportation scroll, basically. And
Sick. It's convenient.
We will march to the fortress immediately. 1 day's time, a grand battle will be held. One for the ages, the Blood War!
he screams out. And
I'm gonna scream
you hear
with
just,
him.
like army cries. We pan out to the group. The three of them remain. What are you guys talking about as you guys are outside of the fortress?
I would assume strategy.
I hope everything's going well. The Lipitor and guys.
I have
Yeah,
faith
for
in
real.
Gaius.
Hours pass by, and
And
you see flying
If
across the
anything, they're the most
landscape
rational of us.
a sand-covered dragon, like sand-colored dragon, and 2 riders on top. And as they descend down, you see Lepitor and Gaius on top, apparently unharmed.
Were you able to find out?
Hey guys,
Hey, good news.
Okay.
Good
What's up?
news. We have an army coming. They'll be here tomorrow.
Wait, for
a
real?
whole army?
20,000 strong.
Yo.
Demons?
Okay.
As they say
Devils?
that,
What?
you look behind them the way they came, and there is a dust cloud, just thousands of feet of just.
I think
from
that's
the
them.
Holy crap. I'm impressed, guys.
Okay, how did you manage to get that to happen?
Just asked.
You just asked.
Nicely.
They were willing?
Pretty much, they seem pretty excited about
Yeah,
the idea of
More,
defeating
more than you
Trishika.
think.
You
No
guys struck
strings
a
attached?
deal.
They're just...
You guys
You
struck
see-
a deal, didn't you?
You see
hung
the
to the side of Lepitor's enormous black blood red horn.
Yeah,
That looks like a
would
deal
they,
top.
Is that like... Did they give you that just as a keepsake, or what is that for?
It's immense. So it gets even better. So
Okay.
the Lord that we met with wants to continue the war with us on our plane.
Yeah. Not only does he want to help us here, he wants to help us at home too.
Up top.
Yeah, Exandria. You know it.
He really
Foundation-
wants to
You mean
defeat.
foundation. You mean foundation.
Foundation. You know it.
The fuck is Exandria? Sorry.
Lipitor, you've been fighting devils for a while. You are okay with this?
Well, honestly,
Not my will,
look,
not my
the goal
power.
the goal is we're going to win this war, right? That's the mindset with
It
the
is a
demons like where
mindset,
we're
so-
from. Well, they stay until that fight ends.
So you went with the whole enemy of my enemy type deal.
Correct.
Very much so.
Okay.
So if
And-
we win the war, then everybody wins. I mean,
And so
Okay.
there's no way they could betray us, correct? And make this worse for us in the end.
Orman, it's what at this point.
I
Why
just
does that matter?
want to know so I can see it coming if it happens. Or
Hey.
if this is
Assume
like
it
a
comes.
solid.
Assume it comes, and you
Deals
will
on
have
deals. You know?
well.
This is what-
That's good to know because stealth was never going to be an option. So
Yeah, guy just almost got caught. It was crazy.
I got caught.
Oh.
Not sorry, Redulus.
I did not. But
Yeah. Did we learn anything important in there?
we did, and we have a shot of really killing, or at least getting rid of Kashtitikai from this plane. You remember those little masochistic bug or creatures?
Demon bomb.
The ones that blew up.
Yeah. They have hundreds of them in there.
I think Guidus probably gets a nice smile on his face when you say that.
So-
How are your bow and arrow skills?
Here's the thing. There are some that come, and this is from what I saw. They came from the walls as well, right? Little holes, wasp holes.
Yeah,
that they
on
also
the
came from?
actual interior, not on the
Interior,
outside
okay,
of the
okay.
walls. Yeah. They're on
Interior.
the they're like in a cubby hole, but there's hundreds of egg sacs. And then when they get ripe, they take them out and then box them and lock them away somewhere.
Yeah. So I explained that part to them. The box. I only saw one that they were pushing in, but chances are that cave has multiple crates of these beings that we can use. So I was thinking, now that we have massive army, we can definitely pull most of those forces out, making it easier to actually raid this place. We blow it to the next plane.
Let's go. I'm impressed, you guys.
Oh yeah. One more thing that we received. Now with this horn I have on my side, the kind gentleman was able to give us a means to teleport straight to the Bronze Citadel. And if we give the warlord this horn, they should grant us some favor.
Okay.
Okay, so how does that
How
gonna
how much do
work
you
with-
trust this guy?
Say what?
How do you trust this being that you made this contract with?
How much would you say you trusted? What was his name? You know, just
Malgarith?
Malrath.
yeah, Malrath. Like scale
Mal-
1 to 10.
Probably like a 5, to be completely honest with you. But that being said, if you guys favor this guy more than Malrath, why don't we also put him on the pedestal?
In what way?
Make him the sole lord.
I don't know how any of that works. I hear what you're saying, but
Mhm.
How would you do that?
I don't know.
We know this hierarchy applies to devils. They kill a stronger devil, they take their power.
So you're saying you want to kill Malgrath?
If it puts this guy you guys made a deal
Well,
with,
let's not get too crazy yet.
that's true. You know what?
If
Sorry.
We
if
might
we
die
kill-
versus Kostiktikai.
if we kill Kostiktikai though, the deals are done. We have completed our deals and we're
As-
good to go. So I think if we can get to that point, and then we go meet the dude at the Bronze Citadel, we should be sitting okay.
Yeah, and the lord that we spoke with, he's very occupied with the rift that has opened up there. And there are demons pouring out, and he's defending that spot.
Yeah,
He was
he's
very
pissed.
reluctant to give up his troops, and so it took a big promise from us. I don't think he would have the means to go and attack Malrath and even stand a chance against what he has there.
And I think the deal we made, I think that's as sweet as it's going to get for him.
Either that or we just murdered 10,000 people from our world.
Yeah, that was his other alternative. So,
Let's
Glad you
not do
guys
that.
didn't choose that. That's
yeah.
good play there.
Human
We're thinking
lives
about
play
it.
a big part.
So we have a day and maybe a little bit of planning. And I'm going to go definitely be a part of Team Blow Up the Base.
Well, I assume that this Kashyyyk camp is going to be able to see an army marching on them.
Absolutely.
We're
So
banking
maybe
on it.
we should go to the other side of the fortress, and when that happens and they start, preparing themselves and things like that, maybe try
Absolutely.
and sneak in and do the bug thing.
We don't really exist anymore because of that big cloud over there, so we do need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, move undercover at
Definitely.
the right time. Because who gives a damn if all those devils die? Devils and demons, I don't care about any.
That being said, if we do let them know about this plan, they could even help us out more getting rid of Kashyyyk. Let them know that they're kind of the distraction here for their forces, while we go in and actually cause a real big distraction.
I think that's kind of what we told him. It was, we're going to really focus on taking him out of the picture, and he's allowing us to get, basically.
Okay. So he already knows. Perfect.
Hey, my internet's better. I can turn this on.
Nice.
Go.
Let's go, dude. Nobody's
bad.
lagging anymore.
Give me something, Cole.
Cool.
Come on, Cole. Everybody's doing.
You're pointing over there. I'm over here.
All right, now you're right here. You're right above me.
Give me
So
a
what are
Cole.
y'all
I'm
doing?
not.
I think we should
Relocate.
relocate to a place that has some decent cover. We can take our short, long rest.
I believe
we
we're
can
gonna have
game
to make a
plan.
long rest.
I mean, we have a day, so we can.
And I might sneak into the city tonight.
By yourself?
Well, I feel like once they get closer, they're going to get more on edge, right? And it's going to get harder and harder. And that's kind of my specialty, is doing a lot of damage initially. So I feel like if I can really hurt one of those things and get it to blow up, it might just be a chain reaction.
I mean, we're definitely banking on you for that damage. Redalus did say, barring full invisibility, though, you still don't want to get yourself too caught up.
Well, I mean, I imagine I can get someplace and at least just hide. Wait, kind of. I don't know.
They
I
have-
wasn't in there. I don't know if that's possible.
They have a very distinct animalistic,
I say
abilities.
I think it'd be better
They
if,
can smell. They can smell mortals.
if when they get alerted by this approaching army, that we all go at least to the wall, and then let Guidus slip inside and do the work.
I have created an entrance. Still gonna be rough with the things out there running amok.
Well, that's
Well,
what I'm
either-
thinking. Once the army starts approaching, I'm hoping those things will maybe move. They're supposed to find if anybody's approaching the walls, I assume. And if an army's coming, I imagine that's where their attention would go. But we'll see.
I mean, I'm not familiar with these exploding creatures, but how much time do you get before it blows?
From
Okay,
our experience, what was it like?
About 3
like a
rounds.
minute.
It was less than a minute. It was
It was
like 40 seconds or so from starting of hurting it till. Oh wait, yeah, you weren't there.
So you'd
You
have to
wouldn't
be
believe
quick,
the
too.
crater it left. Yeah, I mean, when they blow up, it's bad.
Guidus, how fast? Are you pretty fast?
Well, that's the other thing. I found a place to hide last time that one went off. It didn't even hurt me. I think that's also why it's a good idea for me to do it.
plus here's the upside. If these creatures, they grow in size as they take damage. So take one, cause enough damage, plugs up the cave, no one can get in, no one can do anything about it. The chain reaction is for sure.
Guidus, are you going to be able to get out fast enough?
I think that's where we come in.
I think I can get far enough away. I think I can.
I think as long as we're outside the walls, we're good. But it's just a matter of you getting outside the walls.
Maybe if you could give me a signal, I could take my steed and fly in and nab you.
Possibly. I do have my. We haven't really fought much. I can disappear and appear a short distance. So if you did, I could just kind of. If you get close enough, I can just appear on the back of your mount and we can get out. That's possible.
That'd be dope.
Let's get all the cool shit.
I have to practice that.
I can definitely get you in for sure too.
You do take note. You also have a pretty, if the means of escape are a question, you do have like a pretty much guaranteed way to get out
That's true.
with the scroll.
Which scroll?
The scroll that.
The scroll that we got to teleport us to the Bronze Citadel.
Oh, that's right.
You
But
can
we
use
still
it
have to
without
fight.
us?
We still have to fight Kostiktika, right?
That is part of the
Wouldn't be
contract.
your problem at that point.
But with hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of these creatures in there, I'm pretty sure a lot of it's going to create a crater that is
If we
20
could blow them
times
up
the size.
in lieu of also blowing up this whole place, like that's get
Listen,
two birds
that's-
stoned at once. Like, come
yeah.
on,
That
let's-
might
That
kill
sounds-
Kashtikskai in its own.
That sounds incredible, but I feel like we're being pretty optimistic, right?
That's what I'm saying. We also want to bank for the fact
If-
that that might
yeah.
not just happen.
If it works, hell yeah. If it
Also,
doesn't,
Now that you said it, that there's 100, it kind of makes me think in perspective as, are outside the walls, is that even far enough away?
yeah,
It's gonna be like a
honestly
Minecraft
true.
Because
TNT
the-
thing.
You know, we dealt with, what, 3 of them? And it completely just, like,
No.
almost
We-
destroyed
it was
the...
that was only one that blew up. That one crater, that was one, wasn't it?
At Fort
The
Capstone,
one,
we
the
had...
first time, that
like,
big one, yes.
the
The
big
second
one.
time, there was like 3 of them. Yeah.
But that's constant damage taking to those.
Yeah. You know you guys know that once it's like you have to stack the damage, and then once they grow to a certain size, like once they explode, they don't take any more damage. So like that cascading effect, it would only work to a certain extent.
Mm.
So let's say one explodes and it does 60 points of damage. Those other ones that it hits, they would only take 60 points of damage, period, before they explode. Like they wouldn't be like 60, 120, 340, 680. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be exponential. They would take a threshold and then they would explode too.
So if we got one of them...
Still a lot.
Yeah,
Still like a
either way,
crazy
that's
amount.
either way, that's good.
Small boom, then big boom.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would be like
Potentially,
one
yes.
big
Multiple-
small boom to ignite like 100,000
Multiple
little
booms.
booms.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So, like,
So a
we had
firecracker
that
in the
one-
bucket of firecrackers.
we had that one
Yes,
big-ass one
yes.
left to crater. Now we have hundreds of small ones. I imagine it's going to
Making
be
the
equal
same
or bigger.
Yes, that's perfect. It's a firecracker and a bucket of firecrackers, not one enormous firecracker.
So
Cluster
I think the
bomb.
farther we can get away from this thing, the better.
yeah.
Hopefully those walls are pretty sturdy, you know. But who knows how
Like
much
I said,
power. Also, it'll
there-
probably destroy the wall sacks. Who knows if those are explosive yet?
That's
The
what I
what?
was getting to.
The sacks
These-
on the wall where they like take them out.
These
of.
creatures come from the sacks on the wall.
Those might
So it
not
could-
be ready to explode. That's why they keep them there. But who knows? Those could ignite
They
too.
They definitely are, and if there are some that are on the wall that are ready that they haven't harvested, those will also explode. Which leaves us a grand opening for us to march right in.
Let's not get caught up in the blast. That's all. That's it.
Either
Alright,
way, for
gentlemen.
once, it's looking up.
We
For
are
the
about
next,
to
for the next
blow this
24
plane.
hours, it might be okay. But it's still a question mark after that. So should we try and find another place, or do we want to stay here? Is this where we're going to go in?
We should try to find another place.
But isn't your spot here to get to the wall that you dug out?
Yes, this is the only spot I found.
Yeah, so we should stay here then.
Are we still like? Are we hidden from the fortress?
Yeah, there's enough like
Okay.
altitude and cliffs and rock faces that you guys like. You're not out in the open in any regard.
Yeah, we've
You're
been
kind of
sitting
tucked
here
away
for
a mile away.
the entire time, they were gone. Nobody stopped
Yeah.
us.
Koshitikai, he's huge, right? I mean, can we still see him? From where we're
It's
at?
like a silhouette. You just see like an enormous giant on a chair, like a head. There's like you can't see details because it's not even brightly lit, but you can tell there's like at least an 80-foot dude out there.
There's no acknowledging the swarm, right? Yet.
I'm gonna say it's been a few hours. Make me a perception check.
Another natural 20. What's going on? This
That's
is the
so
second
many.
game in a row that I've rolled 2.
Who loaded the dice?
I rolled one.
26.
He's rolled one. He's rolled
You
five.
can see. This is kind of okay. On a natural 20, it's been a few hours. You can see the dust cloud coming from the Rift's encampment. You look at the barracks, you start to take in. You see the enormous figure of Koshitikai kind of stand up. And you hear a bellowing cry come from the whole encampment. The whole ground begins to shake. The demons know war's coming.
Shit.
And in that moment, I'm not even make you roll anything else. You now know that because they've been detected, Koshtiktakai is, from what your brief encounter, he's not an idiot like his underlings. In war, if you're being attacked, the best thing to do is to fight on your ground, on what you decide. And with Koshtiktakai being alerted of these forces, a thought goes in your head. If they know they're coming, they might not fight them here. They might try to meet them out on a terrain where it best suits them. Because defending is infinitely harder than meeting them out and attacking first. You see forces starting to scramble across the walls. There's an energy, a buzz at the fortress. And that little mission, in the heat of an intense battle, you begin to realize it might not work out unless you guys do it before the battle even starts.
I was thinking the same
As
fucking thing.
Kishtiktakai
Damn it.
starts to rally his forces, he might meet them out on the battlefield, and then the whole plan is thrown out.
We might have to light the spark now. Light the fuse.
I'm going in.
You gotta go.
No, Torment! Torment
sprint for the fortress.
Shield just.
I'm getting so sick of him doing this shit.
Not an immediate reaction. On that natural 20, I even tell you, it takes a while to like rally forces and stuff, even if they're just beasts like these demons are. That 24 hours or whatever you had, give or take, it might be twisting a little bit more towards like
It's on 1.5 speed.
3 hours you have to enact any plan you want to do right now. But
Dun, dun.
with all of these pieces being moved, Koshtiktakai finally within sight, a demon versus devil rumble, two forces of evil crashing against each other, the feelings of this deal that's been made, a way to open up a way for devils to enter into the prime material plane on a scale hitherto unknown, in the conquest to finalize this battle of sky and stone that was initiated months ago by our original Pantheon of Champions. The question remains as the battle starts to overtake, the planning coming together. There is still that question that hangs over. Maybe none
more so than our young Marco Silverhand, of what is all this for, and what did you arrive down here to do? It weighs at the back of your heads. And maybe after all the deals are done, some answers can come. But with that, we're going to end tonight's session right there, with some plans coming together. Whether you guys are going to strike at this, do a little stealth bombing, whether you're going to wait until they're actually at the war to maybe assassinate Kosh-Tiktakai on your own. It's up to you.
Excellent.
Very nice.
It's
There
looking
we go.
good.
I'll run some.
We're gonna
Looking
do
so
this.
good.
We're gonna fucking do this.
I'm gonna run some simulations. Don't worry, guys.
Let me know.
Figure it out.
I'm gonna kill that fucker Marco and all the chaos. I'm gonna kill him.